Avengers Infinity War. Yeah. Motherfucker. Ja. Nok den mest troværdige...
English.
Ja. Apparently the most trustworthy superhero crook in any movie I have seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the first time in a very long time there was an actual plot.
True.
And a scary one.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to throw some themes out there and then
Okay,
we see if we get around them.
Right.
But I'm thinking one thing is what is inevitability and what is wielding power. And I'm just going to spoil the shit out of this one just in case.
Yeah,
from the
this is
beginning.
just one big
Who
spoiler.
cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Don't watch this if you don't
stop
want
it
to
right
be
now.
spoiled.
Okay. And another theme is this thing of falling into silence, looking over the sunset after having destroyed half the universe.
Here's a good
If you
crook.
didn't turn it off, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
Because what I really like about this one, which also kind of shocked the hell out of me, is like, okay, I'm just going to talk, right? Okay, sorry.
Right.
There's all these layers that have been building and building and building, and it's been like, you started on the season 5 of your favorite TV show, and there are so many new characters, and it's almost political in this layer and that layer, and this person likes that person, and they used to date, and blah blah, and so this inevitability of cleaning something up, and at the same time, no, I forgot what I wanted to say, but it felt important.
What?
It will come.
Okay, but I like to say something about about Thanos, the super crook, because he had a purpose.
Yes.
He had a real purpose, and that was a good purpose, and it is a good purpose.
But it was one you could relate to.
You can relate
for the first time. He's not just.
But that's my point here.
Okay.
The thing is that he had a good purpose. You could relate to it. He had a plan. He could execute it. He had it all. But all this was wrong too.
Yes.
So it's like, it's really, really interesting where it stops, kind of. Because you saw all those planets. They actually did destroy themselves. We are destroying ourselves at the Earth at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, I mean, don't you think that was what Dr. Strange meant in the end? That he had to do it?
That's what I'm talking about with inevitability.
Right, okay, yeah.
So, but the thing is, this is kind of, okay, I'm just going to drag the conspiracy theories right in here.
All
because
right.
this is actually a major theme, and speaking of all this, we put this out on the table right here.
Right.
Marvel is also supposed to be kind of a teller of tales at the moment, telling of how what the deep state is going on about. And the thing is that what I've heard through this, I know you're kind of looking down and everything and feeling uncomfortable, but this is an actual thing. This is an actual thing. There are some stones sitting somewhere in the States where they have a declaration, an intent that says the Earth should be cut down to size, like we should not be more than 500 million. So this whole genocide thing is a very real theme. So it's not something they just pick out of thin air. It's something that's actually...
No, it's old.
Yeah. So in that sense, yes, I can relate to what he's saying, but at the same time, what does he know? I mean, you're right. He has an intention. He can execute it. Blah, blah, blah. At the same time, he sits in the end, looking over the sunset, and he falls quiet. He enjoys the silence, but the silence is outside. It's not inside him. So if he could turn this around, who is he to have the authority to execute that kind of power?
Right. He doesn't have that.
He doesn't have that,
No.
because nobody has that. You can be a god, you can be what the fuck, you can have all the infinity stones in the universe. Yeah. But if you don't find silence within, he can just move to the countryside, for fuck's sake.
Right.
I hear it, and it's a real thing, but who has the authority to wield this kind of power? Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah. True. And he could feel love.
Yeah.
So.
But he was a real fucking crook. Is a real fucking crook.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, a real fucking crook. And I mean, this is the really scary part, because who in our environment at Earth at the moment are actually trying to execute the same kind of right?
They are.
They are all doing it, from the fucking mullahs to Donald Trump.
The whole fucking Illuminati thing.
Yeah, can I do this? My eyes on my whole.
But you're doing that every time anyway, so it doesn't. It's not really gonna work, because it's this whole thing. Yes, it is. This is an actual intention from some people, and
it is an intention. Yeah.
Yes, and what is like wildly provocative is that they think they are better than.
Yeah.
It's the arrogance to believe that they can pick and choose who should be a victim of genocide and who should not. And what I'm saying is, you cannot make that choice. I mean, this is beyond, we are all one.
Yes.
So that kind of arrogance is not okay.
It's not.
At the same time, it's so fucking cool, finally, to have a superhero movie that goes somewhere.
Exactly. That is really great. I so much agree with you.
Yeah, and so in that sense, I'm sorry. I'm blah, blah, blah.
No, but I think this is really important, because
Yes.
also this crook actually has he has traits that you can relate to.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he is doing the same thing that as any person who stands up and try to kind of,
Any politician.
at least anybody who speaks
Or
about the
demagogue.
truth as it is some kind of fixed thing, which it's not. And like, it's more than 200 years ago the first kind of political person stood up and said, we are too many people on Earth. And at that time we were not more than 500 million people. So it's like, and every time when we have come through that, every time, I mean, it's like, so who can say stuff like that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this whole idea that I have the right, I am entitled to pick and choose. And he says, oh, I'm going to do it in a fair way. You know, it can be either rich or poor,
Exactly.
but it's not happening to you.
No.
Hello? So it's like, what kind of arrogance gives you the right to feel entitled like that? Why don't you fucking move to the countryside and chill the fuck out and learn meditation?
Yes. That will be our advice
Yes.
to you.
But that's always my superhero advice. In
Yeah.
any case, meditate. Just go inside, you know. Bring
True.
the conflict inside and you will know you're fighting your own shadow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also it's so interesting because that is, I mean, it's speaking about themes that are of course already in the big collective storytelling or whatever is going on. This thing, what happens after the apocalypse? And I was thinking in the beginning, there are a bit too many of them. I actually caught myself thinking that, like, it's kind of fun. You meet all your friends, all Guardians of the Galaxy. When they came in, it was like when we watched Star Wars again. It's like, oh my God, it's Han Solo and Chewbacca. You know, that kind of woohoo. And at the same time, it is a lot of layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, and this blah, 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 blah. So it's also nice. Dare I say it? It's nice to have it cleaned up a little bit.
Right.
To have some key characters left that are interesting to see what are they going to do with this.
But they could have left out a lot of people from the beginning. It would have given
Yeah,
a
yeah.
more
That's
straighter
true.
story.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So in a way, they
It was
cut it
all-
out for themselves.
yeah. I mean, why should?
Added all the fluff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
that's true.
for me, I mean yeah. I mean, there's simply too many. It
Yes.
was just confusing.
Yeah. And they don't stand out anymore.
No, they
The
don't.
faces don't stand out. And I have to say,
Yeah.
Captain America, he does look hot, but he's so annoying.
It's so annoying. That's so good.
Yeah.
But also,
Did he die?
No, but did you notice that he was not Captain America? He was only Captain or Steve.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and he
Yeah,
didn't have a Captain America shield anymore.
No, that's good.
The old colonist shit hero was kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. And he grew a beard that kind of tried to
He did look
imitate Thor.
Yeah, Thor is the best. Fuck, he's so funny. I wish they
It's
brought
so
the
funny.
director back.
Yeah.
What's his name? He was so fucking cool with Thor.
Yeah.
And something else that I find interesting. It's like a little bit of the next level game, this whole thing. When you wield that kind of power, speaking as, you know,
Mm.
from experience, when coming to feel all of a sudden something more power is going through the system that was there before.
Mm.
It's not my power, it's just access to energy, let's say that. So when all this extra energy when you get access to all that extra energy, is kind of, whoa, I'm gonna explode, and I'm feeling blissful at the same time, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. But this question of wielding power, it's like, so okay, so you add, in a way, like all these infinity stones is the rainbow, and we all have access to that. I mean, those are like essential qualities, soul and power and
That's true,
vision
yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's like, if you integrate your essential qualities, which we all have access to, we are extremely powerful. And to come to peace with that power, that all this power is in me, and I don't have to dominate anything. Then I'm going down the wrong path. Then it's skew. It's unhealthy. But when it comes from a place that's completely silent and boom, it's just there. And that, for me, that's the real superhuman power, which I find interesting.
True. It is essential powers.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Anyway, I think it was a little bit too long.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. I tell you what I think so.
Yeah.
And I think this whole kind of Wakanda thing in the end,
Yeah.
it was there is kind of a tendency when you have kind of big hits like this, that you want to kind of make it like it's a computer game. And that kind of annoys me a little bit, because there was so much in this movie. So why should, I mean, I get a little tired of it, I must say.
I mean, I think part of it for me is that I didn't see Black Panther, so I can't relate to it in the same way. Did you see that?
No.
So maybe also we're missing out there.
Right. Okay.
But no, I mean, it's
Right,
true.
okay.
There are. I mean,
Yeah.
there's all
Okay,
these
okay,
layers
I
upon
agree.
layers, and that's a little bit. That's
Yeah,
also the whole conundrum of the Avengers thing. Like, you just add layers and heroes and another
that's
hero,
true.
and the they come from there.
It is true. Yeah.
But
I think they could have Guardian of the Galaxies and Stark, and not even Scarlett Johansson. She didn't have any kind of.
she didn't really add that much, and I thought to myself when I saw her, I always get happy when Scarlett Johansson is in a movie.
Yeah.
I already usually do, but then she didn't really bring all that
Didn't bring
sexiness and that
No.
zazz and that fuck you kind of attitude, which is so cool,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
she has a body,
Yeah.
You can tell she likes to use it, and that's fucking cool. But
Sure.
but she and Cap, the boringest couple ever,
It really.
She just got so boring. What's
Yeah.
with the blonde hair? I like her red hair.
Yeah. True. No. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
but that is what. So a little bit criticism. I think. But, I mean.
Yeah, I hear you, and but I didn't. It didn't occur to me that it was too long. I was just kind of, no, what's gonna happen now? Oh, of course he had the time stone, and then that happened. No.
Yeah.
So.
I actually was thinking just before he did his fingers that, oh no, why not the hand? Yeah.
And in that sense, it's so interesting because it had to happen.
It had to happen.
And he said there was no time. He just said there was one situation out of 14 million where it happened, and he was lying.
Yeah.
So it had to happen. So the question is, what happens now that they have stripped off of all their extra heroes and extra layers and all that stuff? Which is really interesting because it kind of strips you down to something more authentic. And also, again, all we need is love, The answer is inside, somehow, no? This might not make any sense, but that was just my feeling, that is like, but this is what it's about. Okay, we get stripped down, and then we have to build from love.
I mean, it was a shock. It was not. I didn't expect this to
I
happen.
did not expect that either.
No.
I mean, Loki died within the first 5 minutes. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Well, he really died, and I forgot it. Yeah.
Yes.
Because so many other
So
things.
many died.
Yeah. Crazy.
And I feel like we're not done yet. I feel like there's more to discuss.
I mean, there is for sure, but I think it's very difficult also to discuss it before we see the sequels. The sequel.
But this whole thing with Thanos,
Yeah.
it's like the ultimate villain for them. It's like
Yeah.
he's better than any villain they've had before because it's always been about conflict. Always, always, always. And for him, it's not about conflict.
No, he wants to do good.
Yes, his idea is that this will make a better world.
Yeah.
So it's not to dominate.
No. He just destroys half the planet and leaves.
Yeah. And go sit in the countryside.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying, meditation.
Yeah.
But it just makes it more interesting. Because instead of conflict versus conflict and this superhero versus that superhero and who has more Ant-Man or whatever, this brings a real question. Like, all this perpetual fighting. I mean, it's like, in a way, it's like superheroes in the mouse wheel, no? I mean, then there's just like, okay, there's Iron Man and there's Hulk and, and they're all in the same kind of mouse wheel. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
And they're not really coming anywhere. And he's just kind of poof, He's throwing all the mouse wheels. I'm not sure, but it's much more interesting. The plot of this is much more interesting to see than what?
I mean,
But Groot was so sweet.
he's so sweet. And that last time he was just a brat. And now he's gonna become a teenage Groot.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That was so funny.
That was funny.
And
But I think-
the
I think the plot here is also that Thanos have this kind of mechanical view of the world. It's a very mechanical and very scientific, mathematical view of the world.
Yeah.
And in some way, the superheroes are trying to emulate that in their saving of the universe, which is not possible. Emulate, hvad fanden hedder det på dansk? Efterligne.
Imitate.
Nej, det er ikke efter. Altså,
okay.
Nej, lidt ligesom efterligne.
Okay, I'm not sure I get it, but you can.
Anyway,
Yeah.
altså, they try to. I mean, they actually try to fight him at his ballpark, which they can't win.
No.
The winning will come
Exactly.
another place.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so that,
Yeah. Okay. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't. No, you cannot fight him on his terms
No,
because he will win.
he will win.
Of course he will.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. And that's, I think that's why, even though it wasn't very eloquent, what I said is the answer is love, because it needs to come from somewhere else. I mean, it's not mathematics, it's love, because love you cannot
Exactly.
You-
Yeah,
you
but I
cannot
so much agree.
do anything with that. You
No,
know?
and he had to give up his love to achieve
Yes.
the mechanical victory.
And then this whole thing of inevitability, like, what did you have? What price was this? Everything. What did you
Yeah.
pay? You paid everything. Was that worth it? And then this whole thing of Dharma, and like, was this his Dharma? Was this the inevitability of Thanos? He has been walking on this path. It needs to kind of go into its fruition. And the fruition is death. It's death also on the inside of him. Like, he also loses, he has great sorrow to do what he wanted to do in the first place, because he has to give up his love. So was it worth it? He just went and sat in the countryside. He did execute it, but, how about if that silence could just happen if you just moved out of the city, or Titan, or whatever?
It is a little bit too late now.
Well, obviously it's too late.
He kind of had destroyed half the universe.
Yeah.
So, total spoiler.
Yeah, but we're way past
Yeah,
that.
we're way
20
past
minutes,
that.
20 minutes
True.
past total destruction
Yeah.
of any kind of.
Yeah, true. I mean, I actually fear a little bit for the sequel.
Oh, I love them. Can't wait for the sequel.
No, I cannot wait either, but I fear for it also.
Why?
Because one of the stones is a time stone.
Oh, you're just gonna go back and do the whole thing
Yes.
again? Come on, guys, grow up. Do
Yes.
the next level.
That's why I'm
That's why Deadpool is the next one. From Marvel, the company who killed Wolverine. It's like, yeah.
Right.
And not only
that
not
was so
only
good.
Wolverine,
That was so
funny,
great. That
yeah.
was the greatest way
It's
to
like,
start a
that's
Marvel
what we
movie.
need. That's not what we need now. A little bit of easy, fun
The company
Deadpool.
that killed Wolverine. That was brilliant. Yeah.
Oh no, I can't wait for the sequel.
No, I'm just afraid of it.
Because now it's like, now I want answers. I want to know what they're gonna do.
But I'm afraid.
Yeah, you can have a point there, but at the same time, it's kind of lifted it to another level.
This one did, yeah, for sure. It really did.
I hadn't expected that.
No, me not.
I thought it was like just gonna be another one of those Infinity Wars. I don't like the title though. I don't think it's not really adequate.
Infinity, I mean, uendelighed.
Yeah.
Yeah, infinity. No, that's a little strange.
It's more like inevitable.
Yeah, it would.
Inevitability wars.
Yeah, true. All right, okay, Infinity Wars, it's true in some sense that the essence fight is an infinity fight.
Yeah,
It's not a
against
fight that
oneself.
was... Exactly, it is an inner fight, always.
Yeah, it is. Because it's like if we don't come into oneness,
Yeah.
we will be in conflict with ourselves and all these little aspects of ourselves. And this molecule has that superpower, and this molecule has that superpower. And if they're always fighting, then it's a struggle. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm shutting up now.
Yeah.
No, but
But anyway, I mean, I think this is the evil character is so strongly evil for me because he is so dominant in our normal life. I mean, I see Thanos everywhere. I see him as the head of the right-wing church in the United States. And I see him as a mullah in don't know where, some place, and I see him as a Buddhist king in China. I mean, it's like
it's this entitlement, no?
Entitlement. It's
and
the right,
arrogance.
the arrogance and the right to actually decide other people's fate.
The idea of the right.
The idea of the right to decide other people's fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, come on,
Yeah.
it's just a little human. You know? Who cares?
No, it's also because you stop all other ways to actually kind of solve a problem. It is like we say this is your fault. You cannot. We like it's the same like we throw everybody out here in Denmark that we don't like because we think there will be more for us, which is totally ridiculous. Because the reality is that people actually contribute in a way that create more.
Yeah, when we share, we become more.
If you shared, we would, and that is exactly the thing. But the Thanos figure would kind of cut everybody, you know.
Yes, because he assumes that his idea is truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the arrogance, no?
That's the arrogance.
It's like, what if you're wrong?
Yeah.
What if you're wrong?
But they cannot be wrong in their own minds.
And that's the thing, and that's why it's like, okay, but this is not wisdom. I mean, okay, one, of course, that's kind of the scenography, but it's like his forehead is this small and his chin is that big. It's like, how much wisdom can you fit in there?
That is, I mean,
I know
come
it's
on.
like no,
Yeah.
but still, it's like he's one big fucking brawl, you know. He doesn't look like a wise, contemplated, heartful man. He's just dominance, you know. I mean, of course, he's not dominant like that. He's not like Hulk, but at the same time,
All right.
he assumes that he has truth. Yeah.
But I mean, I had a flat skull, and I'm not stupid.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just playing around with it for a little bit. I'm just playing with this idea of omnipotence. Like, maybe it's just because you're so infatuated with your own dick. Not you, but Thanos.
Okay.
That you think that you are the end of everything or the answer to everything. And it's like, what if you're wrong? Just what if you are not right? I mean, that would open the universe in a way bigger way than any of that other thing.
Okay, what has that to do with a stick at all?
It's okay. The idea is that I am so cool that I have the answer to everything,
Yeah.
which is a little bit like sometimes you can see that in guys, like I'm building this big house because I can.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's so boring. It's like, can you add a little bit of complexity in
Right.
there?
I don't disagree with you. I just kind
No,
of.
no. I mean,
I just disagree with this extremely. I mean,
I don't mean to be antagonistic towards men. I like
but
men.
it is a lot because it comes all the time. It is. I really find it like totally boring, actually.
Is this about me or is this about a bigger thing?
It's
or-
about a bigger thing that it's like if you are an asshole like these guys, then it's because of their dicks, and it's like that is just so wrong. It is because they're assholes.
Yeah. For sure.
Finished. It's not because they have a vagina.
No. But what I'm saying, I don't think that vaginas don't have assholes. I know that. It's just the way that it comes across is
Right.
colored by this,
Okay.
and the female version of asshole is usually colored by a different kind of energy.
Okay, and he is a male crook.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
I mean, so it's not. I'm not saying that men are bad and women are good because I don't think that at all.
No, it just goes again in so many discussions.
Okay, but this is something that's bigger than just this movie, isn't it? Or is it something with?
Yeah,
Us.
it's bigger than this movie for sure.
Okay,
I mean,
because if it's something with you and me, then
no,
it's a different thing.
no, it's something with me and the
And
half the universe.
okay, so there we go. Maybe that's it. You snip your hands and they're all gone.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, should we give it a do
Yeah,
something?
I just don't really feel finished with it. I feel like there's so much to say. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can still.
Okay, but we can-
still
maybe
give it
we-
something.
Or we stop it and start again in 5 minutes.
And we
It's
can still give it some things, and then we can keep on talking.
okay. I mean, my thought actually, but I think you will disagree,
Most likely.
was I would give it a 4.
Yeah, I was thinking 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. And I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
And I'm probably more on a 4 than a 5. But I
I'm-
can give it 5 if it's really.
I find it also between those two.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
don't find. I mean, I do find it a bit repetitive.
Mm.
It brings up something that I find really interesting, but I think I would give it a 4 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I would definitely watch it again because there is more
I think
to
I will
it.
watch it again too.
And maybe I'll change my mind after, but right now I feel like 4 is okay.
And I actually feel also like to see some of the other ones again also.
Me too. I feel like kind of watching them all over again in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
Just to see, because somehow they are all adding to this question.
I mean, they lead up to this. And that
Yeah,
is
they
so
do.
interesting.
And that's really nice.
Yeah.
Finally, finally some kind of, it's not even closure, but it's something that is more formidable than them.
Much more. And also,
that's
like,
interesting.
actually also the thing that Thanos, he kind of think he saves.
Yes.
That belongs to a sphere where the superheroes never are.
A sphere? What's a sphere?
A sphere.
A
Yeah.
sphere.
I mean,
okay, yeah. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he wants to save humanity as humanity.
yeah, half of humanity. At least.
Yeah, at least exactly. Right, but I mean, this is about
Can't win 'em all.
food and clean air, and it's about all these things. No wars for water, all those things. He wants to save humanity for that, and the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. They're always saving.
Yeah, they're stuck in the matrix.
Yeah, a single persons or
Yeah.
small kind of pieces there and there. And Thanos
Look,
got the
there's a
big
cat in a tree.
Yeah.
Save it, save it.
Save it, yeah. But Thanos got the big
A bigger
picture,
A bigger.
much bigger picture. And the thing is, can the Avengers, can they live up to that? Can they create a picture that's even bigger?
Yeah, can they make it better than this?
Yeah, a better picture.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this I would look forward to see. But yeah,
I mean, it's definitely brought it to the next level.
it has, for sure. Right.
And in that sense, I don't know. Like, who wins, who gains from killing half the universe?
Probably the generations after.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're scorching the whole planet, and
Yeah. And God, mothers disappear from their children and children from their mothers.
yeah, much more
My
than
God.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
he smashes a moon into another planet. You know, it's not the same way on a bigger level.
Okay,
but
he is an evil guy. This is not a solution.
it's just, but you can understand him.
Exactly.
And that's the interesting thing,
Yeah.
because all the other ones, they just want to dominate. So it's just one dominance against the counter forces.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yes, that's what the Avengers have been doing all the time. They're just counter forces. So
But-
in that sense, they're super easy to to predict. They're super predictable.
Right, but also, even if they had won in this
Yeah.
movie, they would have lost.
Yes. Yes.
They have to find some other solutions.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay.
Which is why it's like, now what?
Right.
So maybe just move to the countryside and have some babies.
Yes.
I mean, I guess
Tennis.
the world will need it.
Yeah.
No, also the other ones.
Right.
But I have to say, I mean, the cast. It's like all your friends are there.
That is so
Peter
true.
Dinklage and
I was thinking-
Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's like,
Right.
even if they're just there for 10 minutes, like that's, or 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
even
cool.
less actually. Yeah, but it's also a little bit annoying. But I think it was funny with Peter Dinklage that he's kind of was playing a giant.
The dwarf, the massive dwarf.
He was a giant dwarf.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was
That was
funny.
really cool. But in the same way, I mean, I don't want to put it into like very high intelligence category, but at the same way, it's kind of, it also adds to the inevitable answer to this movie. Like all these different ones are all there, and all your friends are there, and it's like this whole family, and you know, and then you have to cut it down to just the core of it, because otherwise all these extra characters are kind of cluttering. Not like they should all die, obviously, but it's just the plot has been adding and adding and
Yeah,
adding and
yeah.
adding. It's like, oh look, there's Gwyneth Paltrow and that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, we need to come back to basics here.
Yeah,
And there was some heavy losses.
there was some heavy losses, and even also there was all those who was not there, like the Ant-Man.
Yeah, they probably died too.
Probably, yeah. Right.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
This will stay with me for a bit, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for me too.
When's the next one? We don't know. Thanos will return. It's not even the Avengers will return.
No, the Thanos will return. That's kind of. That is the thing.
But I'm also curious about him. And I'm usually not curious about the crooks because they're so boring.
Yeah, no, but this is.
But like, okay, so now you did it, and then what? So there's this inevitability about the particular plot.
But he lost his love. I mean,
Yeah.
this is kind of. I think we will see a crook who will grow. He had his kind of. His ideology, his thing. And he kind of have tried that, and now he has the power,
Yeah.
but he lost the love, and he kind of turned into kind of Stalin, Mao, Trump thing.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. And was it
Exactly.
worth it?
Yeah.
Or Hitler?
Oh, Hitler.
Yeah. So,
what would you decide next on behalf
Yeah,
of
what's the
the
next?
universe?
Yeah, or what's the next step after you killed half the universe?
Yeah. Right. I'm done.
And still, this thing about wielding power and integrating all the essential qualities.
Yeah.
Then there is no lack. And I know I'm probably speaking kind of gibberish to most people, but I mean, somehow this is a theme that means something
It does.
here.
Mm.
Like you're retrieving pieces of wholeness. The 6 Infinity Stones. Of course, that's why it's called Infinity Wars. But like, the stones are kind of access points to infinity, access point to time, the access point to soul, the access point to power. I mean, those are essential qualities. Just missed the compassion part. But
yeah, I'm not sure you can look at time, for example, as an essential power in any way.
I don't know
It's
enough
just-
about time to know about that.
Yeah. Right. But watch it, even if you heard
Yeah.
all this.
Even if you did get spoiled your ass.
Yeah, it's okay. You will not regret it.
No. But at this point, it's so far into the storyline that it's difficult to watch it if you haven't watched like
Yeah,
at least 10 Marvel movies.
True. Yeah. And if there are children below 12 in the cinema,
Shut them up.
shut them up.
Just
I mean,
shut them up.
just fucking shut them up.
Yeah.
God.
That was annoying.
Oh man. Yeah.
I feel there are more hidden gems of wisdom, but maybe they can't come out right now.
No, I think so too. I'm kind of feel a little empty.
And I feel like there's something that wants to come out, but like alien. But I don't think it's coming until we move and then something else happens.
Yeah. No, I don't know. No, but this is definitely a movie I think it's the first Marvel movie I've seen that I have to think about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
That is an improvement.
Yeah, so maybe we should give it up to 5. We can leave it hanging.
Yeah. Yeah, but I could give it 5. It's true. I could give and it was also funny. It really had its moments.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as funny as Thor.
No. That's true.
But they're all, at the moment, they're
That's
all
true.
heading towards the end of days.
Yeah.
And this was the end of days. So finally it happened. So now what?
Or a new beginning.
Exactly. So now what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kumbaya.
Right. So that's 5. I think 5 is good.
Yeah, let's give it 5.
Yeah. Good. 5. Okay.
High five.
High 5.
High five.
Okay.
And enough for today.